All right, so this weekend might be a good time to stay inside, watch a few movies. Michael Cook is joining us now to review the new version of Father of the Bride, which is on HBO Max, and Elvis, which is in theaters.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Let's talk about Elvis first. The new movie at theaters. It stars Austin Butler as Elvis and Tom Hanks as his manager, the manipulative Colonel Tom Parker. This is a classic biopic. We follow Elvis from his days as a young man in Mississippi. He becomes a truck driver, and then, of course, on the way to superstardom as we know him as Elvis Presley. Tom Hanks is Colonel Tom Parker, who in real life was the manager of Elvis, he ran his entire career for just about the 30-year period, or 25-year period. And in the movie, as in real life, Colonel Tom Parker is very manipulative, very scheming, and controls almost all aspects of Elvis's life. Austin Butler in this movie is absolutely fantastic. You really believe it is Elvis Presley, whether you know a lot about Elvis or not. You just sort of feel the charisma of this actor, because it really comes through. And I believe he sings just about all of these songs. This is directed by Baz Luhrmann, and he has a very distinctive style that can be very overstuffed at times and very over the top. For me, I liked that kind of style. It works in this movie. Elvis was the greatest solo recording artist of all time, and you follow his life from the 1950s all the way up to the jumpsuits of the 1970s when he played in Las Vegas, and sadly his slow decline and untimely death at the age, I think, of 42 or 43 in the late 1970s. I really enjoyed this movie. Of course, I'm biased. I'm an Elvis fan.
Sounds that way.
I'm also a Baz Luhrmann fan.
Okay.
It had a little too much Tom Hanks in it with the Colonel Tom Parker, but I still really enjoyed this movie. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, I thought it'd be a little bit higher.
Yeah, a little bit. It was too much of the Tom Hanks character. You wanted more Elvis because it's named
Elvis. Yeah,
exactly.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
All right, next up, Father of the Bride.
Father of the Bride, as you mentioned, it's on HBO Max. This is a retelling, reboot, however you want to call it, of the classic story. Here, Andy Garcia is the father, of course. He has 2 young daughters. He's married to Gloria Estefan. At the very beginning of the movie, it's not a spoiler because we find out at the beginning, they're getting a divorce, and they had planned to tell their family when their daughter came home from New York, where she's an attorney, but she springs the news that she's getting married to somebody they've never met before. And not only is she getting married, but she's moving to Mexico in 2 months, so they need to get married in 1 month. So they have to put together the whole wedding and with the bridesmaids and all the that's putting do it in 1 month.
Yep.
So
that's a lot.
All the craziness that it entails. All the while, Andy Garcia and Gloria Estefan have the secret that their marriage seems to be over, but yet they're not telling the family. I loved the first 2 movies that, of course, starred Steve Martin and Diane Keaton back in the 1990s. And while I enjoyed Andy Garcia in this movie, I just feel like this one just didn't have a lot of heart.
I knew it was coming.
It was just sort of, I mean, with these kind of movies, sometimes you know what's coming.
It's predictable.
It's predictable. Yeah. And sometimes you're fine with that if you enjoy the ride, but I didn't particularly enjoy the ride. I wanted more between Andy Garcia and Gloria Estefan to know more about their relationship and why it was falling apart, and it just wasn't particularly funny. I enjoyed the diversity of it and the retelling of the story, but this one sadly just didn't work for me. I give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
So it's okay,
If you got to, it's on HBO Max, so if you need to stay inside,
stay inside, sit on the couch. It won't hurt you.
Exactly. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. All right.